माजरत के साथ थोड़ा वक्त में काफ़ी देर हो गई है। मैं इल्तिमास करता हूँ जनाब जस्टिस अब्दुल मजीद मलिक साहब जो चीफ जस्टिस हैं आज़ाद कश्मीर हाई कोर्ट के और कश्मीर के बारे में बहुत तजीज़ी करते हैं और बड़ा दर्दमंद दिलचस्पी रखते हैं और एडवाइस भी देते हैं। और ये अब आपके सामने ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशन एंड स्टेट टेररिज्म इन कश्मीर पर अपने ख्यालात का इज़हार करें।
Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am supposed to give you a talk on human rights violations, state terrorism in Kashmir, and the response of the world community. It is a very strange coincidence that when we are here celebrating or holding a conference on Kashmir, right at this moment, India is playing host to an international conference on human rights. And if I am not wrong, in that conference, Pakistan is also represented by a very competent man. So reference to human rights in real term means reference to dignity of person, the value of humanity, and all respect and grace with which a person is born and lives in this world. All prophets and all religions always profess in support of human rights, and we are all aware of human rights and what were the needs of urgency or requirements of creation of United Nations and reaffirmation and reassertion of human rights in a declaration in the General Assembly. The reason was that it was felt at all levels that dignity of man is not being protected. It is not honored and respected. So every time it was broadly announced throughout the world that dignity of man should be respected. When we refer to human rights, again, human rights pertain to individuals and to nations. But here I would use the word people. We see today that human rights in Kashmir are being violated at all levels. At the levels of the people of Kashmir, at the level of men, women, children of Kashmir, and the whole world, for whatever the reason is keeping silence. We are not getting any support from anywhere. And that's why we are assembled here, second time in this year. First we assembled on 11th of February in Palm Continental, where the voice of Kashmiri was highlighted. And this is after 10 months and couple of days that we have reassembled. The only difference is that in the first international conference, in the name of Kashmir, the host was the government of Azad Jammu and Kashmir, and today the host is an action committee which consists of doctors, engineers, lawyers, and businessmen, and not the government or the politicians. It is very unfortunate that despite knowing everything that's happening in Kashmir, there is a general complaint, and you have heard one from Mr. Shirazi just now, that people of this area are a little bit detached. They have not shown their concern as it was expected of them. The reasons, I'm not going to count what the reasons are, because these reasons are best known to all of us. My friends have given a very elaborate account of Islamic world, its attitude towards Kashmir, the attitude of the United States and Great Britain and other powers in the neighboring countries. But my approach to this proposition is just in a different manner. My approach would be that what we have done for Kashmiris, where we have gone to evoke the conscience of the whole world, to whom we have approached that what's happening in Kashmir. If we assess the whole situation in that perspective, then I would come to this conclusion that failure does not lie elsewhere, it lies with us. We have failed in our mission. We have not been able to persuade others to listen to us, to show their concern towards us. So the fact lies here. You have just listened to you have heard about the letter which is addressed to an MP of Bedford from the Secretary of British Government. How the British government is treating this whole Kashmiri crisis, violation of human rights. What is their approach? We may not agree with that approach, but the fact remains that their policy was formed under the circumstances as the President of India visited in the beginning of this year to England. And I remember very well, at 10 Downing Street, when he met the Prime Minister of England, he condemned terrorism throughout the world. And Prime Minister of England also joined him in that. And in that speech, reference was towards the incidents of Kashmir. Actually, India is branding all these Kashmir movements into a terrorist movement, into a movement of secessionism, a secessionist movement, as a Pakistan incited movement. So we have to go to tell to the world that what Kashmir issue is, what's the cause of Kashmiris, why they are giving their lives, and what's their basic mission. And again, unfortunately, when we refer to Kashmir, we find that actual cause, these incidents in the shape of killing of innocent people, burning of houses, loot, arson, torture, incest, it rests on what? On basic human rights, and that is the right of self-determination. The world has forgotten that the genesis of Kashmir issue is right of self-determination. The world has forgotten that so-called accession of Jammu and Kashmir state made by its last ruler, Hari Singh, was accepted conditionally by then Governor General of India, with a condition that the matter shall ultimately be referred to the people of Kashmir who shall decide their future. The world has forgotten that Nehru, in his correspondence to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and his various declarations made a commitment that the future of Jammu and Kashmir shall be decided by a right of self-determination. So who has to remind all these commitments to the community as a whole, to the international community? I think it is our duty, it is our right, and a very heavy duty is cast upon us, particularly on the leadership of this subcontinent and leadership of Azad Kashmir and leadership of Pakistan. So we cannot complain against the capacity of the world as a whole, because every country, every nation always form a policy which suits to its interest. We know that in Security Council, various resolutions have been passed against Iraq. Why? Because America, a big force behind it, was interested that resolution should be passed. And we also know that today when a resolution is being moved in the Security Council about Palestine, why it is being delayed? Why hurdles are being created? Because it is against the interests of America. So wherever the superpowers have got their interest, they come forward. They secure the support of Security Council. They secure the support of the whole world. But when their interests are not jeopardized, they are not in danger, and there is no risk to their interest, naturally they sleep over it. And particularly in the case of India, we have found that for the last 30 years, the superpowers are the members of Security Council who are committed with the people of Kashmir, with Pakistan, that the future of state shall be decided by a free will of the people of Kashmir. They have lost their entire interest in those resolutions. It is very sad and sorry state of affairs. Today, not only the people of Azad Kashmir or people of Pakistan, they know the untold sorrowful stories of the people of Kashmir. Even in India, independent elements, journalists and media men who visited Kashmir and saw with their own eyes that what's happening there, they also gave reports showing as what is the state of affairs in Kashmir. And if you allow me, I'll just quote two instances from the report of Sukhmani Singh, which was published in the last month. Sukhmani Singh gave his report to Illustrated Weekly of India, and that was published on September 30th. He has referred to certain instances and quoted the dialogue or the words spoken by certain young girls of Kashmir. He has quoted one Rukhsana of 16 years. She said, "I want to suck their blood, but how can I do it?" Because she was subjected to rape. Then he quotes, "If you give me training, I will kill the men who raped me." This was said by Shaila of 22 years age. Then Rabia, she said, whenever I see an army man, now I feel like jumping into a grave. And he reports, "These are the bitter, angry outbursts of Kashmiri women who have been sexually assaulted, who are here in Azad Kashmir and in Pakistan or abroad." I close this brief summary of my paper with thanks to Colonel Mirza and particularly to members of the Action Committee who have organized this conference at Mirpur. Thank you very much.